Hey, it's Albert with Two Tribes Primal Living, and wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking about, um, which is about talk. Today's topic will be spirituality and why, where I find myself spiritually, and I mean what I believe and what I know is probably not what you believe and what you know. Um, kind of been on this spiritual quest for quite some years and never really knew how to go about it, and never really knew how to to access true spirituality. And when I mean true spirituality, I don't mean going to a church with a bunch of people and listening to somebody talk at you or talk to you um, about a scripture of the day or a topic of the day. I'm talking about real, absolute self soul seeking spirituality that goes beyond the masses and goes beyond the groups and the charity organizations and the the appearance of spirituality. I mean, um, when you're by yourself and your integrity, your morals, your truth is um, is at stake. What do you do when nobody's looking? How do you act when nobody's looking? What are your intentions when nobody's looking? And I think this is something that gets lost in mainstream religion, mainstream spirituality, and the overall soul seeking of an individual. Um, I know people are people I know, people I don't even know will ask, well, what gives you the right to talk about spirituality? You're not a priest, you're not a pastor, you're not a shaman, you're not a guru, you're not a spiritual master, a Zen Buddhist master, or anything like that. What gives you the right to talk about spirituality? Um, I guess the answer to that is I am a spirit. We're all spirits. We should all be talking about spirituality, individual spirituality, not just what Jesus did or what Buddha did or what any other great um, master who once existed ever accomplished. We should be talking about our own spirituality and our own accomplishments, and so what gives me the authority or credentials to talk about spirituality? Well, I am a spirit. My body is secondary to my spirit. This host body, meat suit that I walk around in, is temporary. But anybody who's involved in religion or any kind of spiritual teaching knows that our soul is eternal. The soul is eternal. So there's a difference between soul and spirit, and I'll get into that. Your soul is you. It's like a drop of water out of a sea of water, the oceans, the big bodies of water. Some are salt water, some are fresh water, some are ice, some are vapor, clouds, some are sitting in a mud puddle somewhere. But I'm an individual drop of water, and when I connect to the body of water, that is spirit. That is the infinite divine spirit that I'm just a part of. We all are just a part of, and it took me a while to realize that. It took me quite a while to realize that, and it was a big leap of faith, if you want to call it, in the opposite direction. When I walked away from dogmatic modern day religion, Christianity, religion, it was there was a there was a little bit of fear involved. Yeah, there was. But that was, I'm going to say, making that jump, that transition from modern day Christianity um, to actual deep spirituality, connecting to spirit, was a great time of learning for me. It was the time where I learned that that I'm more than just a person at work. I'm more than just a person at play. I'm more than just a person at home sitting on the couch doing nothing. I'm more than my job, my career, more than a social status. I'm more than a taxpayer, um, income earner, whatever you want to call it. I'm more than that. That was not why I was put here on this earth. I was not put here on this earth to work for the dollar or to work for the system or to work to pay for the achievements of man, the conveniences, the infrastructure, the innovation, technology, all that shit, and what you call technology actually is not technology. Those are tools. Those are advanced tools. And that's one of the misconceptions. We don't understand that technology is not a computer or a phone or a gaming device or anything. Technologies are like clairvoyance, being an empath, being able to communicate with souls, things like that. The mediums, the healers. Those are actual spiritual technologies. Those are actual technologies. The ability to heal somebody is a technology. Your phone is not a technology. It can't heal you. It can provide you with information. It can provide you with a GPS and a recording device like what's happening right now. So that's a tool. It is not a technology. A technology is something that is beyond the comprehension of the human mind. It goes beyond the five senses. So when you have these technologies of a sixth sense, where you can see things, or you can communicate with astral beings, or you can connect to souls, or you can feel energies, or you can heal people. Those are accessing technologies, true spiritual technologies, true technology. And so verbiage, wordage, nouns, whatever you want to call it. The written scriptures that are in the holy books, even so, are not accurate in the way people think they are. I mean, I've been to church. I've heard people. I believe the Bible from cover to cover. I believe the title, the prefix, the footnotes, everything. They believe it all. But what they don't understand is that has been translated from Sanskrit to Hebrew to here in America, the westernized world, to Old English, and now we have modern day Western English, and there's been a lot of translation lost in that, and when you're looking at spiritual truth, it's not something that can be written down. It's not something that can be even recited. Spirituality, it doesn't have a language, and there's a lot of confusion about spirituality. And I saw a ghost, and they were wearing this, or I was speaking to somebody. The energy that fills this whole host body, this it doesn't have a gender. The only thing that has a gender is my physical body, my spiritual energy, the soul energy is it doesn't know politics, it doesn't know gender, it doesn't know economics, it doesn't know you know religion. It is energy. It's just like the lightning bolt that hits the ground, or the energy running through the power lines that run above your head and underground and throughout your house. It's energy. It's vibration. It doesn't have a gender. A gender is assigned to it once we become the physical body we are. But when when you go into meditation, you go into deep meditation, you go into deep spiritual connection in connecting to your higher self, you don't think in the terms of a man. You don't think in the terms of a woman. You don't think in the terms of finances or political views or anything like that. Education level. You connect to the spirit source as energy, as a high vibrating energy, and I think a lot of people who follow in really try to find spirituality get confused with the ego, the emotions, and then true higher self. Um, like I said, what qualifies me to talk about this? I don't know. I've just been on a journey, I guess is what qualifies me to talk about it, because I have connected with my higher self, and it didn't happen overnight. It still hasn't happened the way that I think it should happen. I guess I think I have my ego, like I said, the mental part of me, the mentalism of me thinks that there should be some kind of audible voice or some kind of sighting or some kind of vivid dream that I wake up in, and now I have all the answers to the universe. And I don't I know it doesn't work like that, because it hasn't worked like that. But how do I know I'm connected to my higher vibrating self? Well, because I know that I used to be connected to my lower vibrating self for a long time. For about 30 years, I was connected to my lower vibrating self and the lower vibrations of this planet. I was connected to the lower vibrating people of this planet. I was connected to the lower vibrating material things of this planet. I was connected to the lower vibrating addictions available on this planet. So I've since overcome all that stuff. I no longer seek the approval or the confirmation of people that I know are struggling mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It's not that I don't appreciate their perspective. It's just that I recognize the vibration as victim, as poor me, as almost, I mean, there's so much involved in it, because me personally, I don't understand jealousy. I don't understand envy. I don't think I've ever really felt those emotions or those lower vibrating frequencies of existence. I've never looked at a human being, another human being, and criticized myself or put myself down because I wasn't financially as successful as they were, or that they had possessions that I wish that I had, or anything like that. So I never was the type of person to I guess what's the word, try to destroy the existence of another human being over what they had or how their life was going. I never criticized. I mean, like I said, I've never looked at a celebrity or athlete or even a politician or I don't know who the hell people look up to these days. I've never been there. I've never experienced that lack, that scarcity, that insecurity. I now a couple of times I have wished I've looked at a bear and said, "Damn, I wish I was a bear." I bet it's pretty cool to be a bear. Nothing kind of messes with a bear. Or I've been at an aquatic park where there was dolphins swimming, where you could watch the dolphin shows, and I was like, shit, how come they get to be dolphins and I don't get to be a dolphin? But shit like that, has run across. But I've never looked at somebody and said, you know what, they have it better than me, or they're trying to get over on me, use me to advance or to degrade me so that they look better. I mean, I know it happens. I know it's happening now. I know that there are people who choose to look at the way that Nikki and I have decided to live, and they're kind of like, who the fuck do they think they are? What do they think they are? Why are they doing that? What's their motive? What's their agenda? Well, it's part of our spiritual journey. Us being out here off grid and experiencing life, and without all the conveniences and all the amenities of what you find in a city or small town or anything like that. Well, why would you want to live like that? Um, I do believe that I would rather do it out of choice rather than being forced into it, and then having to contend with the issues of not knowing what to do when that happens. But it's also a spiritual quest. Um, One of my realizations, and it kind of was trickling into the energy field early on before we came out here. It was kind of like you need to shed possessions. You need to shed all your conveniences and your ability to just call on somebody to do things for you, because at some point you're going to have to live. I mean, I think that as we grow older, me, I'm almost 50. I'm 48 and a half years old, so um, I've been on a journey these entire 48 and a half years. And this journey didn't start today. Um, but I believe that we, as a society, are conditioned to view success and failure in the eye of society, societal approval, societal acceptance, and I think we limit ourselves when we do that. I know that it happened to me. I was actually limited um, with that mentality, and the way that happens is you become decoupled. It's like when you're brought into this world, you're connected to soul, and then because of influence that you don't even have a say over, you have agendas that are set forth for you. He's going to go to this college, and he's going to be this, or she's going to have this name, and all these things that have nothing to do with your soul. They have nothing to do with connecting to spirit. So as soon as you come into this world, you're decoupled from your spirit. You're now physical, and the physical is primary to the spiritual, and it should be the other way around. I was talking to my spiritual mentor, guide. I don't even think he knows that he's my spiritual mentor or guide. Um, he's just that humble about spirituality. But I was talking to him yesterday, and we were talking a little bit about history, and I had explained to him that well, we were having a conversation about the written language of different cultures, and why language has been so destructive to mankind, to the spiritual. Mankind is the physical, the spiritual is the collective of consciousness on this earth. So the collective consciousness has been separated and transferred over to mankind, or shifted over to mankind because of writing. Writing is easy to manipulate. It is easy to come to your own conclusions or your own interpretation, and you can see that in modern day society. I kind of look at the emojis and something behind me. The emojis in text. I can write okay on a text message to somebody, and all they're going to get is okay. But if I do okay and then a smiley face or a thumbs up or some kind of emoji, after the word okay, it puts in the actual context, the actual punctuation that I mean okay in. So if and that's kind of what has happened. You know, you look at the Native Americans, my ancestors, and the Vikings and the Zulu nations, and even the Oriental nations from ancient times. You know, everything was a symbol. There was very little writing, stories, and history, and how tos were passed down verbally, um, and not written down. I mean, you had pictures and you had symbols and stuff, but just writing stuff down is so open for interpretation. So when you read things and you even a personal letter, it's like, what do you mean? Uh, what do you mean by this? Because there's no emotion in writing. Now you put an emoji or a little picture after that, and it changes the whole emotional context of what is written. And so history, biblical teachings, history books, all that stuff has been manipulated over the ages by being lost in translation, the true meanings being lost in translations. And the spirit doesn't read books, the soul doesn't read books. Um, People read books. Physical beings read books, and I'm not saying that reading books is a bad thing. Don't even go there. I'm not saying you don't need to read or anything like that. But I'm saying that when you stop reading and you stop watching videos and you stop watching TV and you stop asking people questions about why things are the way they are, and you go within and you actually look into your soul, you'll find those answers. And one of the things that I know to be true is souls cannot be fooled. You cannot fool a soul. A soul is wise. A soul is connected to higher vibrating energies. A soul has been around for a long time. And there are some souls that are older than others. There are some souls that have been around for eons and eons. And I can attest that me and Nikki are probably older souls, and because it's very hard to fool us. It's very hard to get over on us. We can read your ego if you're an asshole, and your ego is the asshole. It's real easy for me to understand. Okay, either this person is having a bad day, or they've had a bad life and they haven't figured it out yet. But there are people who are assholes and their souls are assholes because they're connected to dark energy. And I'm going to explain that because the dark energies of this planet, um, they operate in disguise. They operate as good, and it's very easy to get mixed up in the illusion of a blessed life. Because I've seen it, I've experienced it. I've actually lived through it. Like I said, I was connected to my lower vibrating self for so many years, for most of my life. But when you're picking sides in the political battles that are going on this planet right now, you're operating in those lower vibrations, and you're susceptible to what that political party that you decide is more, that is superior over the other one, whatever comes with that, and you've supported it, and you've dove in head first to support this political party. Whatever comes from that, whatever crimes of humanity occur on that, or whatever struggles other people go through because of your support and your energy, you feeding that energy, and that guy's corrupt, you're just as corrupt as he is, because and I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying you should choose this guy over this guy or this guy or over that guy. That is all spiritual. That is not spiritual living. That is living in the physical world. This physical world, because following politics, following religion, following the dollar, you know, trying to impress people with material items, that is all physical. That is all ego. Uh, Defending a politician or defending a cultural way, like whoever's lives matter right now, that is, you don't know what's behind those agendas. It's like fucking with a Ouija board. You know, if you go and you jack around with a Ouija board, and you bring in some dark energy into your life, um, that's your fault. And it's the same thing. These people who are in power, these people who are celebrities and high power politicians and high power CEOs and high power um, um, bureaucrats. You know, these people do not operate in the realm of light. Sure, they're solving some problems, but what is the effect of solving those problems? What is, I mean, because there's always going to be cause and effect in the spiritual world. I mean, that's just universal law. Is you have cause and effect. Any problem you solve over here, you create others over here. So, um, you know, billionaires aren't in the business of doing nice things for people. They're in the business of making billions of dollars, and it doesn't matter what it costs. I mean, you look at the Walmart's such a great place. When we're just going to use Walmart as an example, you can go and you can buy all this crap from China and you can get it at a cheap price. But look what it did to small communities. Look at what it did to the mom and pop shops. So if you're in alignment with the political parties that want to dictate freedoms and dictate censorship, or you know, you don't know these people. You do not know these people the way you think you do. Just because your friends are in on it and they support this guy or they support this gal or they support this agenda, you know, I don't see the American people in a better place than they were 100 years ago. It's actually gotten worse, and you know, the corruption involved in supporting physical bodies, mental bodies, to pass an agenda or to take from somebody and give to another person, or to give to everybody, but somebody's got to pay for it. So all the repercussions of that, all the effects of that, you know, whether you're intentionally trying to hurt other people because you don't like their opinion, that's your ego. If you're trying to access free money or free services or a free life, you know, that's going to cost somebody, and that's not operating in the spiritual realm. Like I said, the soul is wise, and the soul cannot be fooled. You cannot fool a soul. And a soul that is connected to spirit is going to be wise, and wisdom does not benefit one group or one individual or half a group or two or three people. Wisdom and being connected to soul, being connected to spirit, is going to come up with a conclusion that is the best solution for everybody, for the entire collective consciousness, for the entire human race, not just for financial gain or political power, or see, I don't like abortion, and you're not allowed to abort babies. That's your ego speaking. That is not your soul speaking. And if you feel like you're a spiritual person, and you feel like you're connected to spirit, and you feel like you're operating in a spiritual level, but yet you have all these opinions about agendas that are happening on this earth, and trying to sway people to go your way, and your way is the right way. Your political party or your religious views or your financial social ranking system is the way, is the side to be on, then you're not operating on a spiritual level. You're operating on a physical, egotistical level, and you got a lot of work to do. Um, I mean, I find myself doing it, but I'm a fair soul. I treat people fairly. I don't discriminate against anybody, to me, and it's a it's a joke between me and my wife, and everybody is equally worthless, including myself, until proven otherwise. I don't care if you got a big mansion, or if you have 4 sports cars in a private jet. That doesn't mean shit to me. That doesn't mean shit to people who are really connected to spirit, because we're beyond that. We don't see life as a competition. It should be a cooperation. So I guess the other question would be, well, Albert, why do you ask? Why do you put so much energy into promoting the doom and gloom of this planet? Well, because there's an actual spiritual battle going on right now. It's not a physical, it's not political, it's not economic, it's not religious. There is an actual spiritual light versus dark battle going on in this paradigm right now, and there's a shift occurring. So the people who are waking up, and that's who these videos are for. These videos are for the people who are waking up, who have been disconnected from spirit, who have been disconnected from truth, because they've been either suppressed through, I don't know, influence, fear of peers, because peers can be assholes. Peers can keep you stuck in a situation that you have no business being in, and walking away from the mainstream ways, the herd mentality. Those are the people that I'm talking to, because there is a spiritual battle going on. All the prophecies of whether it's Native American or Christian or Buddhist or Viking, any of the prophecies that were put out by the ancients, those prophecies are coming to pass, and I mean, I know that there's been years and years and years and years and years of people getting ready for the shit to hit the fan, because, oh, there's a big asteroid coming, boom, you're gone, everybody's dead. No, the prophecies don't work like that, and the prophecies are out there because they are warnings to humanity, the spiritual humanity, the collective consciousness of humanity, mankind, whatever you want to call it. Those prophecies are out there to warn you, to eventually come full circle, that things are eventually going to come full circle, and that you as an individual have a choice as to whether to continue on this paradigm that we're in right now, or prepare for the shift of paradigms that is coming. And I don't know if that's going to be tomorrow. I really don't know. I don't know if it's going to be next week. I don't know if it's going to be next year, or 2 years from now, or 10 years from now. But the more work I do spiritually, the more connectivity that I find to spirit, the better off I'll be as a soul. And if you make it your point to try to ruin other people's reputations, or trying to get over on other people for financial gain, or jealousy, envy, whatever, lust, because nothing's going to fix you spiritually externally. No shopping spree, no pornography, no no drug, no gambling, no I don't know what kind of addictions, no food, nothing is going to fix what's fucked up in you spiritually um, from without. It's all going to have to come within. It's going to be a journey, and you're going to have to be courageous. You can't be a spiritual person and be weak and be afraid. You have to be courageous. You have to kick down walls that either you put up for yourself or other people put up for you. And talking shit about people and gossiping and doing things like that, um, trying to get your coworker fired or trying to get your boss to notice you over somebody else or trying to get somebody else to notice you over somebody else or whatever people do to try to destroy each other. Um, you know, arguing with somebody on social media because they don't see your political views or your religious views or your social views. You know, that's all ego shit. And if you walk around and act like you're some kind of spiritual person and you're doing that, um, you got a lot of work to do. You really got a lot of work to do. You got to not only emotionally, mentally, but spiritually, you're lacking, and you're not going to get it from without. I know this for a fact because I had to go within. I had a 30-year addiction to alcohol. I dealt with alcoholism, and I pissed a lot of people off, and I pissed myself off, and I lost, and I gained, and I did all these things that any fucking low vibrating alcoholic would do in life. But uh, it wasn't until I went within self, and addressed those issues spiritually at a soulful level. And I tore myself apart and I put myself back together every day. And that was something that was so difficult to do, so fearful. But now that I'm free of the influences, I'm free of the marketing campaigns to keep people addicted to certain things. You know, I don't get to see a whole lot of beer trucks and neon signs out here. So I'm completely disconnected from the lower vibrating frequencies of this planet um, until I go into town, and then I do. But that doesn't even matter. I'm so far past that you can't trick me with your neon lights and your your girl in a bikini standing there holding a beer in some kind of pose or whatever they get to sucker you in, that you buy into and you become part of the paradigm of low vibration. And you know, people don't understand this. Like I said, I'm not a spiritual guru or anything like that. I don't want to be. I don't claim to be. But you know, when you think about it and you look at people around you, you might even look at yourself. We like to fool ourselves. We like to lie to ourselves. We like to think that we are better than what we are or what we tell people we are. But deep down inside, we know we're a little bit shady and we're a little bit shisty, and we do some underhanded shit to try to get over on people. And you know, until you separate from that, your spiritual walk is going to be very, very, very difficult. Uh, but that's nobody can tell you how to do that. Nobody can journey for you. Nobody can take that spiritual journey for you. But when you do find that spiritual journey and you find that truth in spirituality and you find that truth in understanding, wow, that's why I'm here. That's what I'm part of. We're all connected. We're all part of the sea of droplets of water. And this droplet of water is out here experiencing what it's like to be a cloud or like I said earlier, in a puddle of mud. You know, and we get absorbed into wildlife, into nature, into the foliage, and we go down into the ground and into wells and into springs, and you know, we're just this big mass of energy, and each and every one of us is experiencing our own perspective right now. So to try to tell somebody how to perceive the world, um, you can't do that. You shouldn't be doing that. Um, it's only going to interfere with your vibration. So if you don't agree with why somebody is doing something, if you don't agree with why somebody is following a particular person, that's none of your fucking business. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have or who your spouse is, whether he's a high-powered politician or a fucking doctor or a goddamn butcher or garbage man. I don't give a shit who you think you are. You can't tell people how to live. You can't tell people why to do things, when to do things, and because those are your expectations. Those are your demands. So if somebody offends you or I offend you, and I don't have a problem telling people, if I offend you, that's your fucking problem. My walk is my walk, and your walk is your walk, and I can't walk for you. I can't journey for you, and you shouldn't be trying to journey for me or even influencing my journey in any capacity, unless it's going to be a positive influence. Like I said, I've talked the last couple of days with my spiritual mentor. Like I said, he's so humble. He doesn't even know that he's my spiritual mentor, physical mentor. But he opens up my mind to things in a way that I didn't know existed, um, from another human being's perspective. Because most of the human beings that I've encountered on this planet are pretty fucking shallow, vapid morons. And I don't have very much to say to people like that. I don't have much conversation. I mean, we can talk about the weather and maybe a little bit of bullshit, but I can't do it very long. So I'm gonna leave it there. Um, a spiritual walk is an individual journey, and nobody should be telling anybody how to do it. Nobody can tell anybody how to do it because there are no two circumstances. There is no two perspectives on this planet that have the same set of circumstances, and it's not something that can be accomplished. So, if you're in the business of trying to dictate other people on how they live, why they live, where they live, who they live with, um, the Bible. I mean, I'm going to use the Bible. Is take that plank out of your eye before you tell anybody else about the splinter in theirs. And I'm going to leave it there. So like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Tell me what you think, and we'll talk to you later.